Hi Scorpio, welcome to your week ahead tarot with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. So for your key to the week this week, you have... You've got the Moon card. Okay, so the past is alive and kicking in some way, shape, or form. You are going back over things, reconnecting to people, things, or places or situations from the past in all of these different areas of your life. Now, remember the Moon card. So, one of the things that I teach in my tarot course, I always talk about this. The Moon as an energy is cyclic, right? So, it tends to show up as patterns, cycles, things that we are reflecting on or ruminating on or over. So this is something to keep in mind, because this may be that this week in all of these different areas of your life you are reflecting or ruminating on things, or you're reconnecting to things, places, people, situations from different eras or different areas of your life. With that said, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your actions and options this week, you've got the Page of Wands. I actually really love this because what it means is there is a message or a letter or some kind of correspondence that is coming back around this week. Now, this could take the form of an opportunity, but what I feel is more likely to represent is an idea that you have had, right? So this is an idea that you've had. It is something that maybe you tried to start once before, but it didn't quite get off the ground. This could be a realization, a dream, some kind of message that you've had that felt different, right? That felt like it had a little touch of destiny about it. Right? Do you know what I mean? Like, I always get that from, I don't know if you've seen Pirates of the Caribbean, Tia Dalma. She is like my, love her. And everyone always says to me like, Raph, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, oh, she's just epic. I love her. Anyway, right? So there could be something that comes back to you this week. It could come as a memory, could come as a dream. Very likely to be that you're going through an old box of paper, old documents, etc., and you find something and you're like, holy fuck, how did I forget about this? And it will, like, instantly you will be reminded of, this is important, I need to get on with it. All right, so I actually really like that Page of Wands here. In terms of the options that are available to you, well, this week you have the chance to take an idea that has a universal sort of energy around it and put it into practice. What you do with that is going to be up to you. For your communications and conversations, you've got the Five of Wands. So lots of fire energy here already, right? The Five of Wands, in terms of communication, it can get a little bit loud, right? So before you start sharing this with anybody, get it really clear in and of yourself and in your own feelings first. When it comes to your, those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, this with the Page of Wands is like there's something that you're really eager to get learning or eager to get started on implementing. I love that. And if it works for you, then go for it. Just remember that the more sources you have, and it's funny because there's such a juxtaposition, right? And I think this is to do with the fact that Jupiter is now in Gemini, right? The more sources you have, the more information and energy you have to draw from. But the more sources you have, the more opinions and God knows what else you have to sort of sift through as well. So you're going to have to find a way to balance this, but it is worth really looking through or sifting through the information. When it comes to those of you that are employed by somebody else, be very, very careful this week about getting stuck into... Does anyone remember Elmer Fudd? I used to love that character. Be really careful this week about buying into the Kool-Aid or the office water talk, right? The reason I say this is it looks like there's something brewing in your workplace. And because you've got the Moon card here, this is likely to have been something that has been a problem before. It kind of comes to a head every so often, never really gets sorted, and then it just, all the kerfuffle about it dies down. If you end up getting involved in this, you are in it, and that means it's probably going to stain in some way. So I would just be really, really conscious of that. I also want to say as well, mind out for competitiveness this week. For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, for you guys especially, right? The competition energy is going to be rife this week. Make sure it's not coming from you. I'm all for healthy competition. I'm all for a little bit of camaraderie, and I love all of that, right? Because it spurs you and whoever you're working with or alongside to do better, to do more, to really do the best that you can do. Because everybody loves to win, right? If that comes at the detriment of friendships, connections, all the rest of it, it's probably not worth it. All right, so you have to really sort of find a way to temper your desire and also, what is necessary. For those of you that are retired and no longer working, this would be a really good week to get back into some kind of old hobby, some kind of old sport, something that you used to do that was a lot of fun to you, that you had a really great time doing, that, say, probably potentially from time to time gets really, really loud. Either which way, I see a lot of happiness and success around a hobby or something of those, of that nature. For your love and relations, so technically you show up as yourself, whether you're a man or woman, however you identify, technically you show up as yourself, because the Queen of Cups is a water sign person, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, and this means that in your relationships you truly do show up as yourself. But this week you show up as the nurturer, you show up as the person that can be the one that kind of keeps everything together and also helps grow the relationship and take it in a direction that really feels heart-led. Now, on top of that, for those of you, specifically should I say, for those of you that are single, it's very likely that you're connecting with a Pisces, because you've got the Moon card, you've got the Queen of Cups. For those of you that I've already mentioned, for those of you that are partnered. So all in all, I actually really like this. If you're single, it's probably going to be in a group situation or a group endeavor, maybe within a hobby or something that you do as a collective. This is likely to be where you are meeting or connecting with said Pisces person or person. It's also possible, because it's the Queen of Cups, this could be a water sign person from your past, someone that you're reconnecting with, someone that you are, and look, there's a lot of passion here as well, right? Even though it's the Queen of Cups, there's a lot of passion here. It could be deeply sensual, potentially very sexual as well, and a lot of fun. When it comes to, before we get into your money and materials, if you haven't booked on yet, remember you can cancel at any time, but the Lunar Lacuna is open. If you want to find out what it's all about, there's links in the description box below to tell you that. And if you've got any questions, just reach out. For your money and materials, you have the Page of Pentacles. So you've got the Page of Pentacles, you've got the Page of Wands. 2 pages represents disquiet. You've also got the 5 of Wands. There are little fires everywhere, as the saying goes, right? There's a lot of this going on, right? There's a lot of and there's a lot of tweeting and all of that kind of stuff. Be really careful about getting locked into it, especially around things like money, finances, especially around old arguments that come up, right? Like, you can get sucked into the old stuff this week, or you can keep it moving. It's also probable as well that a lot of you are potentially spending money or resources on some kind of self-directed learning, or maybe even for some of you, this could possibly be night classes, or a night hobby or of some sort, or a hobby that you do at night. That looks to be where you're putting your money. If you can stay out of this argumentative kind of energy, which it might not be possible, at least check where your real frustration is coming from, right? Why are you so emotionally invested or pissed off about this thing, right? The more honest you can be with yourself about that, the quicker you'll be able to pull yourself out of the fray. When it comes to those of you that are, when it comes to your physical health and vitality, Page of Pentacles, especially with the moon, I'm going to say, if for those of you that have had, remember, I'm not a doctor, can't give you medical advice, this is not a diagnosis. Aquarius. If you have had any problems or issues with or surrounding your thyroid or your endocrine system, this would be, and when I say your endocrine system, I am talking specifically around your thyroid. This is the week where you do really want to pay attention to that and get it looked at, get it seen to. Especially if you've got something coming up that's like a recurring issue, like it goes away and it comes back, it goes away and it comes back. And then finally, when it comes to your home and environment, the Page of Pentacles is an interesting one for home, because it usually means that you're holed up with books and you're at the research table or the work desk and you're just really going through it. But it can also be where you are making the home, like you're doing the stuff that needs to be done to make the home sort of run, flow, ease better, right? It's not so much sanctuary stuff, it's more sort of like the practical stuff that really kind of keep the maintenance. That's the word that I was looking for. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes out. Take care, and I'll see you soon.